The one thing that most people hate, actually, is change. I mean, they really do. And that's completely understandable. People want continuity, they want stability, and they want some excitement.
Yes.
But what we have now, which is continuous whitewater rafting, is not something most people say, I signed up to that, constant stress, constant change. I always remember coming out of a board meeting once and one of my very good directors saying to me, Gail, you know what you said in there 6 months ago? You said completely the opposite. So I had this moment and I thought, oh my God, am I being completely inconsistent? It's hopeless. And then I realized, no. I said, have you noticed the world changed in the last few months? So yeah, our strategy's changed, You just got to get with the program.
You're doing a good job, the numbers are going the right way, and all of a sudden, the digital tsunami is on the horizon. The industry becomes its most volatile, unpredictable. The world is changing. How do you keep yourself up to speed?
Oh, that was really difficult. I mean, I really felt, it is absolutely true. I was fine up to when somebody, twisted the knob to kind of full on, and literally there was an innovation a day. And I really felt that kind of keeping the status quo going and keeping abreast of all the new developments was really tough for me. And that was a lesson in delegation, to be honest, because I felt I had to understand the trends and the big picture, but I absolutely could not understand everything that was going on in the nitty-gritty. I very much saw it as Charles Handy, we were talking about earlier, who was a little bit my guru. I used to edit his books in those days, as his sigmoid curves. And, I was very conscious that you don't want to wake up where most people do, which is when you're on the decline of your sigmoid curve and you want to start at the beginning. I was also lucky I had a deputy who was young, engaged, interested, and I basically gave it to him. I mean, he ran with it. So we ran a parallel organisation. I kept the overall show on the road, and he really got to grips with digitising all 20,000 books on our backlist, setting up a virtual warehouse, and looking at all the kind of complexities around pricing and, piracy issues. So the whole gamut of new skills. Although we were on a pathway towards revolution, and yes, indeed, we were investing, we didn't change everything. We still felt that physical books would be our core business and continue to invest in our warehouses and, all that side of things. Advance one small step at a time, take stock, and then go the next step. You can have your vision can be revolutionary, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I had those
maybe
two
conflicting
sides.
views from AJS and from Jim.
They are, but the point about leadership is that it is paradoxical. So you have to balance conflicting views in the same way as you need to adopt conflicting styles of leadership, at different times. And then I wanted to try and do the changes with a degree of consent. So I felt that you needed a vision, you needed a narrative. I think you always need a story in business that people could relate to, and a sense of purpose and a set of values, even if you were doing quite radical things. But I would say my style of management in those days was directional. I mean, things had to be done. We were losing money. We had to turn around. It was like turning a tanker around. I sit on many boards. I'm also chair of the Royal College of Art, and I have many charities, and I sit in the House of Lords. What I find now is that I'm much less... My diary is actually busier than it ever was, and my travel schedule is crazed, but I have time to think. And that is the biggest gift of all. When I was CEO, I kind of managed to carve out time to think, but it was under duress. Now I think I try and get time to really think. And actually, I would say it's probably the most creative time of my life. Take breaks. I mean, you can overthink a problem. And I'm a great believer that in gut, but there is no such thing as pure gut, because your gut is based on years of experiences that you've probably forgotten most of them, and they're like a filing cabinet in your brain. So think it through and then go away for a long weekend, or think it through before a holiday. And at the most surprising moment, the right decision for the most complex problem will actually emerge when you're not actually trying to grasp it, because sometimes when you're really stressed and overthinking something, the solution is an ever-receding horizon, and you're not in touch with the purity of your, intellectual and emotional, intuitive instincts. Ideas no longer come from the top, and we spend a lot of time as an organisation looking at our leader, the one below, and the one below that. And I've argued, actually, the more interesting place to look is right at the bottom, actually, down here somewhere, where the real new ideas, and these are the digital natives, these are the people who are, potentially going to be able to come up with your completely disruptive ideas. So we've tried to introduce young people to showcase their ideas, to put them together across divisions, and to sort of see what innovations come out of it. So I think being tuned into the young people in your organisation, to use them in the right way and to give them opportunities to be heard, to include them in a mixed group making a decision or implementing a particular idea is probably something I would recommend.